Well, we have quorum, 6 o'clock. I'm gonna open the April 5th, 2022 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. That's what group this is.
Misfits or us?
Let's start with share. It doesn't have that, so let's pop up that. And let's do some minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
You're in a rush.
Yeah, right.
It's a long agenda. The faster we get through this. We're all in the room. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi, Tamika.
All right. So next we have an emergency certification request from the DPW. So he and I had a meeting about this. This is behind the ballpark, behind Marshfield. There is DPW up on the hill, and there's a lot of piping to get all the water down towards a stream. The problem is that where it comes out of the stream is about 3.5 feet until it actually hits the bottom of the stream, and so it's eroding that whole thing.
It's a new problem?
Yes. Because he has
caused
by him repairing all the structures upstream of it.
Okay. You mean when water actually goes through the pipes it's supposed to?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Now the water's actually going to the pipe, and it's eroding the heck out of the out of the end of the pipe. I didn't bring pictures.
What's he doing? Just rip-wrapping it?
Why? Look, he is going to.
I'll let you talk, Peter. Sorry.
That's okay.
It is your meeting.
Really? So they're going to put in the manhole and a pipe. So they're going to basically go into. They're going to put in a. I don't want to call it a dry well, but
A manhole.
they're going to put in the manhole so they can do the 3 feet drop inside the manhole, come out.
Called the drop basin.
Yeah. That's what they're going to do.
Okay.
And let me tell you, that stuff has been scouring the heck out of that whole river bend. So, yeah, this was an emergency. So, I guess we need to vote to approve it, don't we? Because he never had me sign it individually, so.
Right.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve it.
Is that an adequate motion?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll second.
With the chair signing only?
I
Amend
can
it,
do, I
please.
can do an electronic.
Electronically.
Electronically? Yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Next is a submission for Harper Classic Homes.
Wesley.
I see
Brice.
Wesley is on the phone. Nice to talk. Well, on the Zoom. Actually,
The Zoom's out to Google.
no, we don't do. Why? Why do I let you wind me up this way? So I do. The NOI is on our Google Drive. He's here, so we'll let him do the introduction of the project.
Sure. Wesley Fliss, Whitman of Bingham Associates, a division of Haley Ward, here this evening for the submission of a notice of intent for the Rutland Heights Senior Housing Project. It's the former site of the Rutland Heights State Hospital. We're working with the town for the redevelopment of the site, and a portion of the property has a small wetland located in the northwest corner on the upper left-hand corner of the plan that you're looking at there in front of you. And then on the lower part of the plan, there's an isolated wetland yet right there. That's also on the project site. There are some wetlands to the right of the existing driveway and also on the north of the Rutland Heights Way. We are working with the planning board on a approval not required plan to cut off around 33 acres of land from the entire piece of property that's owned by the town that would be used for this development. The only two pieces that we look at that were in the commission's jurisdiction are those two smaller wetlands that I pointed out before. We're in the 100-foot buffer zone to the the wetland up top for the construction of the stormwater basin and the walking trail along the outside of the project. And we're up against the isolated wetlands down on the bottom side there for that walking path and also the stormwater basin. We try to keep in the majority of the development out of the resource areas as much as we could, but because the wetlands are at the lowest points of the property, those made most sense to put the stormwater basins at those locations. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into this. I know it's a submission meeting, so I can go into more detail if you want, or if you want to schedule the public hearing.
We don't need a lot,
and go
but
into more detail.
I'm gonna go to the next couple of pages, so not that one.
Sure.
This one, so I can ask some particular questions. Now, everybody, this one is rotated 90 degrees, right? Because
Yes.
the intersection we're looking at is where the road curves and shoots off to the new, I forget what the new name of the road is.
Well, it's Rutland Heights Way is what it's called.
Right. That one's Rutland Heights. Oh yeah, that one is Rutland Heights. Is this one that's?
Yes. Yes. I apologize. Off the top of my head, I can't even remember what the roadways names are, and I know they gave them.
They have names. It's fine. It's not that important right now.
They gave it military names to go with the hospital. So that's the Fidelity Drive is what the main entrance is.
The main
Fidelity
one,
Drive.
right? Okay, that's the one that loops all the way around. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you anticipate any work, including sewer work, out at the roadway?
So yes, we do show connection right there at the intersection of Fidelity Drive and Rutland Heights Way of the connection into the water and to the sewer there. And then we do show connection of the sewer and the water down the old driveway or the old back entrance into the hospital.
Down that one?
And so we do show sewer and water down there. And so we will be working with DCR for that work down the emergency access driveway because that's going to be in their jurisdiction. And so we're working on a determination of applicability through their office to see if they're going to require any formal permits or if their informal review of the plan will be sufficient enough. And so we will work with the Belchtown office on that item. But if you can see right there in the plan, we do show the 400-foot Zone A that's attached to the pond on the property.
Right. So
we do have.
The Zone A is another question that I have because DCR contends that there is an underground stream over here somewhere exactly that they say is a feeder to the and so would that extend the Zone A up here? Or to make the 400-foot over here somewhere as well? Again, that's not jurisdictional to us, so I'm not trying to.
Yeah, so we're just using the maps that are on record for the Zone A that the state has.
Okay.
And so what the state has for the Zone A is what we show on the plan.
Okay.
And so if they ask us to extend anything further, we can have a conversation with them. But again, what's on record with the state is what we show on the plan.
Sure. Let me just get this window out of my way because there was another wetland demarcation that I was. All right. So for this little bit of wetlands, it's just really covers the basin. I don't think.
And that wetland is an isolated wetland. It's not
It's not jurisdictional.
No, it's jurisdictional, correct. And so I still show the buffer zone to that, just to give the commission idea of where the 100-foot would be on that, but it's an isolated wetland. And so the wetlands out here had been previously approved by the commission. I believe there was a solar project that was done prior to this.
And that, by the way, was really going to be one of my questions. Is this the solar field flagging, which is fine. It's not. I don't have a problem with that. It's within the time. It's all allowed. I'm just.
Yeah, and that yes, and that's I think that was the attack that was taken by the applicant, was to use what was already recorded and approved by the commission.
Have you refreshed the flags?
I'll have to check that, to be honest with you. I don't know if they have checked it or not. So I will, if not, we can get out there and refresh it now that the ground has, there's no more snow cover.
I wanted to know.
I like to walk it. I don't refresh your flag and just walk it.
Okay.
I mean, just for
Yeah, just
point of reference, so it's
because
makes
the
more
only thing
sense.
in my head, what I remember, and you don't know this is my memory, so nobody should ever trust it, but I have recollection of another wetland on the property that I don't see on your map. Now, I don't remember exactly where it was, so I need to go back to the maps of the solar field.
There was one further
It's,
south.
yeah,
Was it further
it's
south?
further,
Yeah.
it's further to the south, correct. There's a much more substantial wetland to the south of the site that we are not using as part of this project.
Right.
Ah,
The
okay.
I remember the solar project, their limit of work went further south than this.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, right, and
Okay.
they looked at the entire piece of property that the town owned. And so we're not using the entire property that the town owned. Town owns, we're just using, like I said, a little less than 33 acres. And so there's gonna be land, behind that. If you want, if you look at the, I'm not sure if the cover sheet will show it well enough, but I could show you if you want. I could show you.
Isn't it up here?
See how there's a dark property line that was drawn in there. All the existing property lines are purple.
Right.
We drew in the dark property line. So that's the proposed property lines. That's going to be approved by the planning board as part of the A&R process.
Yeah.
And so the land to the south of that is the remaining land of the town, and that's
Right.
where I know there was a substantial wetland out back.
That's where it was down
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
Okay.
Right,
Thank you.
right. And then it's all kind of tied into and I always get the name wrong on that,
You want that, didn't you?
the pond down at the further
Oh,
south.
which with Takala? Takala
Yeah.
down here? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so that's kind of, I think, all tied together, and so that's when, when we get into the drainage discussion, that's kind of what we're looking at, is how everything ties back into that pond there.
Just a second, I have to let somebody else in, and then I'll say, do you remember how many units there are? 140?
142.
142.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just curious.
Yeah, it's a number that's changed a lot. It's not been final, so. And again, not jurisdictional to us.
Interesting.
But it's interesting information for us nonetheless. All right. Any other questions for us first? So we just had a quick chat amongst ourselves. I don't know if you heard us, that we like to do a walk again just while we're waiting before the hearing, but
Sure.
after the flagging's redone.
And that's fine, I will talk to I'll talk to the survey manager and see if I can get the flags rehung by the surveyors and have them just relocated if I can't get the botanist out there. But I can get back, want me to just get back to, now,
Yes.
you want to get back to you about that, or how do you want me to relay the information when the flags are rehung?
Get back to Tamika
Okay,
through conservation, and then
Yep, I have her
we
email
will
address.
we'll amongst ourselves and with you discuss a site walk date.
Well, we don't even need him. It's town property.
No, but if there's anything.
By right, it's not like it's landowner. We're
Well,
landowner.
if there's questions,
No,
there's
no, but
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you have any questions, we
Yeah.
can
Oh yeah.
do we
we can
want
get out
him
there.
to, do we want all of the flags refreshed or
Boundaries.
just the area?
Just-
Just
the
the
boundary.
ones that we're talking about related to this project.
Okay,
Yes.
just so we're
So
everybody's
again,
clear
it's
on that.
it's the northwest, the southwest
Mm-hmm.
corners,
Yep.
and
Be nice to see with no foliage.
yeah.
Right, yeah, I think now would be ideal time to
Right.
work the property, so, yep.
Before mosquito season.
Too late.
What the heck? It's already tick season.
Okay.
Since I got one of our last sidewalk. All right. Any other questions from the commission?
Nope.
Great, thanks. We will put you on the agenda for April 19th.
Okay, perfect. And then that worked out great, because I know we're on for the 20th, for the RDIC board, or the HDPP, whatever that board is. And I know that the peer review is also being done by Quinn Engineering, so I know that was a request that copy that gets sent over. So once that's done, we can get a copy over you as quickly as we can, so.
That's right. So Quinn's doing stormwater. Are they doing anything else for analysis?
They're doing the entire peer review of the site.
Okay.
So,
At the IRT this morning, I did ask that we get a copy of Quinn's report.
and we can CC you on that one when that comes in.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, all right. Thank you.
I think we're all set. Thanks very much.
Perfect. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Now, I know Julian has a few to submit, but I'm going to wait on those.
That's fine, no problem.
So, I'm going to open hearing for notice of intent for McDonald Heating and Air Conditioning and Plumbing for the property at 42 Glenwood Road. Come on in, let's chat.
Good evening, Paul McManus from Ecotech, representing the applicant here, just to remind folks. This is a single-family house at 42 Glenwood Road. They had something went amiss in the basement, lost their above-ground oil tank contents to the basement floor. Some of that oil went through a crack where the floor meets the wall. Got down. You'll see on this aerial to the left and up from the house. There's where a perimeter drain, foundation drain comes out, and daylights. That's a front yard to the left of the house. Slope goes down, so that pipe daylights kind of at the end of that yellow rectangle. And in addition to doing cleanup under the foundation, there's active excavation going on. The commission issued an emergency cert, and then we subsequently filed a notice of intent. So there's been some excavation and stockpiling of, I don't know, several cubic yards of soil out at the terminus of that perimeter drain. Further to the left, you'll see what happens is there's you can't see it really well in this picture, but there's manicured lawn, which then transitions to a meadow area. The right-hand portion of that meadow, as you look at it, is upland, and then it transitions to a wet meadow. There's a stream that passes under the driveway with a northerly flow, and that crosses the property there. So that wet meadow borders that. It's a bordering vegetative wetland. So this work certainly at the terminus of the perimeter drain is within the buffer zone. Fortunately, that when it's number 2, home heating oil. Fortunately, that was noticed pretty quickly that there was water, oily water coming out the drain. So they were able to get absorbent materials placed there and contain it. There was some contaminated soil, as I said, that they've excavated, stockpiled. It's on and under poly. I was by there just a half hour ago, and it's pretty secure at this point. They haven't removed it in the event that they need to add to the pile, basically. And but it is secure. It's covered and got poly underneath. So it's a stable situation. And,
Whereabouts in the property is the sequestered soil?
It's right about here.
Oh, very close to the edge of where the, okay.
Yep.
Yep, fine.
Yeah, so this is you can see a little bit of a texture change on the figure. This is kind of the edge of the lawn, the transition to the meadow. So it's within the lawn area up here. And so they're actively working to clean up the soil. There's always the possibility that some additional oil, because of the activity underneath, that some additional oil could get liberated and come down there. So they do have absorbents there, and as I said, that's why they haven't they haven't kind of cleaned up and closed up that area, you know, in the event that that they're not done. So it's, you know, they have some work, you know, that they're doing. It's possible, as I understand it, that they may be excavating actually outside the house along the foundation. But, you know, that's kind of incremental work. If they do that, it will be, you know, very contained. It's in, you know, in the lawn area, lawn and landscaping. So there's really no threat in terms of a wetland impact.
Yeah, the only place you'd have to dig up would be around the pipe, I would assume. No, I guess not.
No,
It depends on how far
You'll
if
get
it went down below the
infiltration.
foundation, it could have spread out,
Yeah.
sure, okay.
Yeah, and they're, you know, it got, you know, this is it's a foundation drain, you know, so
Right.
perforated pipe and stone around the foundation, you know, designed to do what it did, which is to carry the water away from the foundation. You know, there is the possibility that they'll be working outside the house, but again, it's, you know, it's contained and, you know, kind of meticulous work.
It's a question, you just keep going until you don't find any more.
That's exactly right. Yep. And unfortunately, you know, you never know quite where it will take you. But
Our condolences to the landowners.
yeah. So Stephanie Wood is in the back with Hydro-Environmental Technologies. Stephanie's actually reviewing on behalf of McDonald's Oil and Heating. McDonald has stepped up, their insurance company has stepped up, although my understanding is it's, at this point, it's a little unclear as to ultimately who will bear responsibility for this, but folks have stepped up and the work is proceeding. So that's good, and you know, if there's a fight at the end about, you know, who gets the final bill, then
That's their problem.
that's right, that's, you know.
We are very happy that the fight's not taking place before the work is done.
That's
We
my
appreciate
point
that.
exactly.
Well,
the
that
work-
just increases the liability to whoever's fighting, so that,
Yeah, the work is proceeding, you know, the contractor's good, I've dealt with those guys on, you know, a number of projects, and, you know, they're sensitive to not only their issues, but also your issues. So, we did get a DEP file number, no comments from me and McDonald. So basically, you know, the NOI that's before you is to just do this cleanup in a controlled fashion. And when it's cleaned up sufficiently to then, you know, restore and stabilize any exterior soil that's been disturbed.
Okay, questions from the commission? This is a public hearing. Questions from the public?
How many gallons was released, do you know?
I'm sorry.
How many gallons did it leak?
I don't know. Stephanie, do you know that?
Stephanie Wood from Heading Environmental Services. The tank was a 330. It was at about 3/4, and the oil company, the McDonald was able to recover about 80 gallons. So
Puts you in the 200 range.
roughly.
All right. If there's nothing else, is there any reason not to close this hearing?
make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Wait a minute,
Aye.
Aye.
excuse me, on, this hearing here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Any special conditions we want to think about adding to?
No.
No. Commission says no. Then like a motion to approve the standard conditions for the orders.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. You're all set. Thanks. We'll get those. Tamika, how long will it take to put those together? And
I'll get it to you in the next couple of days.
That's great. Probably the best thing to do would be to send the original order to me. That way I'll make sure it gets recorded and not lost in someone else's system where they don't know what needs to happen.
Paul, are you comfortable with me emailing it to you? Because we use electronic signatures now, so that
That's,
can be used
that's
for
perfect,
recording.
yeah,
Okay.
we're set up now with a company that does the recordings electronically. It's
Perfect.
a beautiful thing.
I'll get that over to you.
It's a beautiful thing, so we pay a few dollars extra for it, but it's,
Worth it.
it
It's
works
a lot
well.
easier than waiting for us to print, sign.
No, more electronic is great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Move on with your agenda. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
You too.
So I'm going to open a hearing for notice of intent for Gordon Nolan and Welch Ave Lot 2. Julian, is that you?
That's me.
I believe I have the septic right here.
There's the green cards.
Thank
It's been a long time. Okay, what we're proposing, I'm Julian Vitruva from New England Environmental Design. It's a single-family house, 3-bedroom house, right on Welch Ave. We're proposing a house, septic, and well. The wetlands are indicated where it says lot area. That cross-hatched area is your 15-foot no disturb zone that you guys like to see. We have nothing proposed in there at all. It's a, if you look further down, the well is to keep 100, that's where the well had to go there, to keep 100 feet away from the septic in the reserve. So, because it was a long, narrow lot, that's how it worked out. But we're not proposing any fill in any wetlands. We're outside your 15-foot buffer. No disturbance zone, and that's what we've got.
I don't see a 100-foot mark. Is the whole area in the 100?
I believe it is.
Because I see the 50.
Yeah, I believe the 100 would be going right through Welch.
Welch Ave, right, okay. Okay. Questions from the commission? We had heard a rumor that there might be changes.
They were having a title problem,
Oh.
and it doesn't, even if it comes up, it's further down away, so it doesn't affect what we're proposing. It's the other parcel. They own Bessie's own that parcel and another 100 acres. And the title company is wondering where that interior line is. And where they proposed it, it was beyond the well, so I said, let's just continue. When it first came up, they were saying they didn't even own this piece, and it's like, no, that's absolutely not the case. But they got it resolved, or it's being resolved, so I said, let's just continue this.
Okay.
We're all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else from the commission?
My only comment is on the erosion controls. You've got just the straw wattles.
Yeah, that was, can we condition putting the silt fence behind that? Because there was a time that you guys were okay with just the straw wattles. So, if we can
I think
condition
it's
that.
highly, I think our requests for the silt fence is very specific.
Yes.
Um,
Looking at this plan,
That's fine.
There's not much slope on it.
well, it's not so much the slope. There's a lot of grading happening. There's a decent amount of earthwork to regrade those areas around the new house. I would personally like to see a silt fence with the
Okay.
wattles.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Makes me feel better.
That's fine. Well,
gives you the warm and fuzzies,
It
doesn't it?
does. It does.
That's fine.
Yep.
All right.
Other
That's
than
it.
that, that's all.
Other questions?
Yep.
Comments? Anything from the public?
We have a DEP number, no comments.
Any reason not to close this hearing?
no.
Motion to close?
Hold on, before we do that, I like to do the discussion of conditions before we close.
Okay.
So, are any special conditions for this site?
Just the
Just the
silt
silt
fence.
fence.
Silt fence on top of straw wall.
That's it.
Alrighty.
I'll repeat myself.
I'll second him.
You will? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I haven't said that yet, but I've heard every voice, so. All right, that hearing's done, thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, you guys have to issue the orders.
Oh, that's right. Now we need a motion to issue
Make a motion to issue orders with
one special.
with the one special, with the Jared special.
I'll second.
It's Tuesday at Subway.
Never heard that one before.
A long time.
That's. Pedophilia jokes allowed? No, let's not do that. Even that would be a bad taste for me. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Peter, before you move on,
Yes.
can you
This
guys
is
just
fault,
let
she's
me
not
know
here.
what the closest point to the wetland is for the one right before this, the 42 Glenwood? I apologize, I forgot to ask, and I need it for the orders.
Oh. Let me go back and find it. Give
Sorry,
me.
I just added it now.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. Okay. I just need to. No, that. Oh, it's 42. Oof. I don't think we asked that question.
It was
Right.
the
For what?
closest.
What's
Yeah,
the
but-
closest point to the wetland?
He told us last time.
Yeah,
It's farther away than you were thinking.
Yeah, it's
Based on the
right, because
scale.
if that's the edge of the BVW, he's
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. Based on the scale, I'd say it's probably like.
he said it was like 25 or 35 feet.
It looks like it's more than that.
More than
to
that.
me. I'd say maybe 50.
50?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll call it 50.
How about 50?
Yeah.
Go with that.
Okay.
No trees for you.
So why don't we do the actually, let's be clear, it's not on the agenda. So we can choose to take Julian's submissions that he's making tonight, or we can choose
How many you got?
not to.
Four.
Why don't we just take care of the trees first?
It's fine, take care of it, then.
All right.
It's fine.
Okay, let's talk about trees.
How you doing?
Which number are we on?
16.
Well, we-
Number 2.
Number two.
We'll have
Number
to
2.
vote.
Thank you. Because I knew we were doing these out of order today.
Right.
So what's happening at 69 Pommogussett Road?
I got the,
Introduce yourself, please, for the
I'm Joe
record.
Warrington, the owner of 69 Pommogussett. I know Scott, he's my next door neighbor.
So I can't say anything, right?
I got trees along Molten Road, between the river and the house.
Okay.
Some of them are very close to the river and very close to the house. They need to be taken down because they're really impeding to on my roof.
Okay.
There's probably about 10 trees that need to be taken down. Some of them are dead, half of them are dead and half of them are alive. Some of them are very close to the road, Molten Road.
I'll ask, how close to Molten Road?
I'd say within about 10 yards maybe.
These are the ones
I was
right
gonna
along
say-
the road, right on the backside of the
Yeah,
bank?
between the road and the pond,
Yeah, okay.
there are beech trees that good size, they've seen better years. I had one that came down in the pond 2 years ago.
Yeah, the ice storm took a couple down, put them on the roof there too.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember
So-
driving under them.
You're not stumping anything, right?
No,
So this is where I have to ask somebody who knows the regs better than I do, what sort of filing you would need. We should all go out, we should go out and visit anyway, just so we get a visual, we can see how close to everything it is.
If all he's doing is cutting them and not stumping them,
Yeah.
he doesn't even have to see us.
He's working with it's a 400-foot. That's zone
That's-
A.
But there's
It's
no,
zone A, yeah.
But the dangerous tree. I mean, I was not supposed to say anything. They're not good trees in a good
No,
spot.
neither one of us,
I mean, I look at them every day and go,
well, if there's no, if they're not stumping them, there's no earth disturbance.
That's right.
So I think I agree with you, Joe. I'm not sure.
He doesn't have to see
it's
it.
needed.
But remember,
The only-
the only reason I'm going to caution you, again, I agree, but it's zone A.
doesn't matter.
Zone A doesn't impact.
It's,
Concom.
it's
Would that be DCR?
So,
But
That was the
DCR, the
DCR.
people who would be involved in that, not
Right.
Concom.
Right.
Right.
So we would only be jurisdictional to,
The only,
if we had jurisdiction, it would only be within 100 feet of
Right,
wetlands.
and it's,
So-
they're within 100 feet.
the only thing that I would say, all right, is the center line of the road there is not doesn't, what you think is the center of the road is not necessarily
Does
the
not
center of the
represent the
road.
right of way. Yes.
Right. It's not a right, there is a right of way there that's a little wider than the road. Some of those trees may be in that, maybe. And the guy to see on that would be the tree warden, would be
Joe
DPW.
Did you talk to Joe?
Buckley. Did you talk to Joe Buckley? No?
I think he sent me the commission.
You were on, I mean, mark the trees.
Yeah, I put,
Did you?
some blue ribbon on them.
Okay.
Okay. We can see.
What did we do? Remember there was a homeowner, I think it was on Woodside. They were taking out some trees.
Mhm.
I feel like we did,
We wrote a letter.
yes,
Yep,
right? We
we
had
just
just a
wrote a
letter on
letter.
record, but I don't think we required a filing from them either, right?
And we asked them
I
to
think you're
contact us to inspect.
Right,
We
yes,
did it.
yes, because they were just cutting them down, leaving the stumps, so there's no earth disturbance. Yeah.
I'm satisfied with that.
I'm good with that.
Do we want,
A letter of intent, yes.
I was gonna say, I hate to say, I'm not asking for a formal plan. Even a hand sketch. Again, for our records, that shows basically the land, the trees you plan to take down, just so we have something for our records.
It's not a bad idea.
So again, I'm not asking for a surveyor. Yes, pictures are not a bad idea either. So I think that's, so they're already flagged,
Yes,
so we could just go out literally anytime, take a look.
Take a look.
This weekend is gonna be very tough, so I hesitate to suggest a group collection, a group walk. But if the commission feels that's appropriate, that's fine.
So you can see these right from the street?
yes.
So,
Yeah, you just drive down
Anybody
Bolton
could-
Road and.
Yeah, that's true, so we don't
so
need
on the
just
other
drive
side
down
of-
through and see what, you know.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do a group.
No,
I don't think
I don't think we
anyway.
need
No.
to. All right, I think we're in good shape then.
You good with your sketch?
Good with a sketch, just make a drawing and,
Do a sketch, just draw a road,
yeah,
draw the V out to where the pond is, and go back to 56,
yeah,
and just roughly mark the trees that you're gonna do.
okay.
And if you wanted to throw a picture in there, that'd be fine.
And throw a
too.
picture in and whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, real basic sketch.
And who would I give it to?
Conservation of town
You,
of
you,
Rutland.
you, you can send it to them or give it to me and I'll.
Okay, very good, Scott.
Yeah,
I
give
mean,
it
if
to
you need help with the
Well,
sketch,
you
let me
can leave
know.
it with the town clerk's office.
Thank you.
if
Okay.
it's
I mean, it's an
paper,
easy,
and
it's
she'll
a
get
very
it.
simple sketch, but if you
Yeah.
need help with it, I'll help you with it.
Okay.
Just come find me.
All right, thanks.
Peter, as far as the letter that the commissioner's going to write, are we going to address it at the next meeting? Or once we receive the sketch, you just want me to move forward with giving him a letter to say the commission was good?
Discussion of the next meeting,
Okay.
so, because that gives us time to go out and look and make our own
Hmm.
assessment stuff. So we'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
And
How soon we plan on cutting, Joe?
I was gonna be in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
Our next meeting is the 19th?
19th.
Okay.
And please don't let me end the meeting before we talk about the 19th meeting. Thank you. Okay, I think we're set, thank you.
I have another question. If
Yes.
I was to do it, not pertaining, but pertaining to this property, if I was to do the roof on that back side, as being close to the river, would there be any problems in getting a permit?
No,
I don't think
no
there'd be a-
permit necessary from here.
Okay. Very
If
good.
it's just the roof?
Yeah. No.
No.
Okay.
As long as you don't throw the old shingles in the water, we're
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
Dispose of them properly in the trash.
Okay, thank you so much.
We don't need to be involved.
Very good.
Great.
You good?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, we're almost done. So, I mean, with the guests, so I'll just
I was gonna
move
say,
the other discussion forward, and that one's already done.
Yeah, it was funny how fast those beech trees died.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
very, very healthy, and then they got whatever
All
that
of a
disease
sudden.
is on it, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Peter, we have to go back to
He's
number
got a couple.
one.
He's got a couple. You can't put your hands on.
Wow. That's big.
Oh, 135 East County?
Are there beech trees?
Yeah.
What's happening at 135 East
So I'm
County?
not certain if the gentleman
beech trees.
is on.
You gotta see him.
I can talk on behalf of that.
Oh, all right, perfect.
Great.
The man who's gonna be building his house there, put all the silt fence and wattles in place, and just Scott had actually walked inside that. Scott, we're talking about 135. The
Pay
silt
attention.
fence and wattles that were placed on 135
When
on Route 68.
six. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Me. I'm like, I was.
He just wanted to make sure
Yeah, he said
that,
something already.
that there's
already
an order of
sent pictures.
conditions, that's the one, thank you for getting that order of conditions, that's
Oh,
all
yeah.
recorded. That was Jim
Yeah.
Calix's whole lot. And so that's all set, and before he put a bucket in the ground, he wanted to make sure that
Yeah. He did wattles and so.
everything was all right now, so you know, I'll go one step,
Uphill.
I'll do one
Uphill.
step, I'll one step further for you. I'll call somebody to take a look and make sure that everyone's happy, and they're all installed exactly the way it's supposed to. So that-
And the biggest piece on that property is because somebody was going to call. That driveway's been there forever.
Right,
Okay.
Okay, so somebody's going to call and say, hey, they're cutting this, they did this, that, but that driveway's been there, it's established, so there's not a ton around it. So just be prepared when it comes.
if it comes.
I did send the pictures, right?
How far up is 135?
What, Peter's been down.
It's
Right
right
up
near
Fulton.
Wachusett
Right,
Street.
right by the murder house.
Right there, it's near Wachusett.
Oh, that's right.
To-
Yeah, yeah.
to Murder
I'm
House,
sure.
take a left.
I've looked at that.
You and
Yes.
I walked
Yeah,
that
we
Yeah.
walked
in the
that.
pouring rain.
Got it.
Right,
Yeah.
but that drive, you know, that initial part of that driveway's been
Yeah,
there
that used to
forever.
be the main
But you
road.
know also, now that he's cleared and started
Before
stumping,
Wachusett Street.
someone's gonna say
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So now you know, no, we know.
Everything's all.
Okay, so
Done deal.
we don't need to do nothing else on this one.
No.
Julian, were you involved with the NOI in 2018? Yes, I'm going off the agenda for a second.
For,
Thurston Hill.
yes,
Lot number one, they put in the building permit.
yes.
The the orders are going to expire in September.
Okay,
And
June,
what's that?
June 30th.
I was just
I
looking
redid
at
the
that.
map.
Oh, you redid it?
Yeah, I redid the map. They're good.
So we can ask for an extension on that one?
Absolutely. I was going to suggest
I
asking
found
an
all, I
extension.
found everything on that, and some of these are pleased here. We go
Right.
through a whole list of which ones,
Great.
and I will ask for, that's perfect. Request for extension.
Okay.
That's the only one up there, right?
That's the only one that's
Yeah,
left,
that's
yes.
the one that's left.
Both sides.
Mention
Save
lot
powers, would you?
number one. Perfect.
So felt nicely.
So to tell
Is there
them,
an actual
Yep.
specific form to ask for that? At least
yes.
there is.
If you go on the DEP
Okay,
website,
all right, we'll
Yep,
find
they
that.
have
'Cause
that.
for a while, there wasn't anything. You had to just come up with a, I think we just did one on
We
the
did.
Glenwood Place.
Yes,
Yes.
Talking for an extension request.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there a form for that? Because I've done them in the past. I was just doing.
That's
He
it.
just said the same thing.
That's-
I've always just done a letter usually.
We've seen a form.
There is a form.
there is a
Well,
downloadable
there's a
form from
form that
DEP.
we issue
But there's, I
to
think,
grant the extension. But I'm not sure if there's a form to request.
think you're
the
right
There is
extension.
there is one.
so when I
Yeah.
use that, I use just a quick, per this form that you need to issue, we're
I
asking for.
think it's one of those A/B
Extension.
things.
Yeah, probably.
Check.
Perfect.
Even if you just put it in writing and send the orders along, I'll have the info I need from the
Okay.
orders. that
I found all, I
that-
have all that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So just so the commission knows, yes, there was a building permit, as I said, for the first lot on Thurston Hill,
Mhm.
where it is the only one that hasn't been built. And I've asked them to file an extension because even with tolling over COVID, they're going to expire in whenever they're going to expire, certainly before the land is
Yeah,
done.
we'll do it. Perfect.
Okay,
Give you something else to do.
I'm gonna
Nothing anyway.
skip
He
over
was getting
number
bored
three.
driving around.
Skip over number 3 for
I
a
can't even
minute.
do that now, the gas costs too much.
Because number 4, I'm gonna ask the question, do we have any feedback yet for the HPDD review board on the Harper Classic Homes submission?
We need to look at it some more. That's a lot of project.
That's what I was gonna suggest, so.
That's a lot of project.
I think,
That's a big one.
Mr. Chairman, I believe, Tamika, you can correct me, don't they meet the 20th?
So we'll know at least after the hearing,
Well-
we'll have some sort of information to share with them, because the board will want to know if we issued the orders or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we can,
Yep.
we'll talk about that next time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I just wanted to say, since it's on our
Yep.
agenda, we don't have comments, we don't have feedback today. Please feel free to continue that into the next agenda. Now, I see someone on board, so I'm going to jump forward to number 9, which is the site visit Jared and I did to Oakley Drive and all of that.
You and I walked that beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, we walked that beforehand.
Yeah, you walked the detention pond, we walked the swale.
Jared, tell us your findings.
Are all the photos up? I didn't even look for them today.
Did you put yours?
Yeah.
Up, okay. It's okay in some spots.
Okay,
Not so great in others.
can you go from the bottom up?
Well, we went from the bottom up, back to the bottom on both sides.
Okay, so I've never been down the bottom.
I actually have photos of every square inch of that darn swale.
So I never
Sometimes
realized it
up-
went all the way around it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a high point at the top of the hill, and it goes in both directions.
is that the hill's the high point? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard to
Usually
believe.
is.
Imagine.
The top, though. It's gotta be the top.
The top?
So
And by the way, actually, let me just fill in
Yeah.
one thing. If you look at, the swale starts behind 4 and goes down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
So the photos start at that point, pretty much at the property line, looking down the hill through that swale.
When you drive up, four's on the right.
4's on the right,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And
The big blue house.
Yeah.
then I turned around and started taking pictures up and down the hill.
Okay,
So that is the sequence of the photos,
okay.
Yeah.
even though I don't have them geotagged and
No, it's,
Whatever.
you're okay.
So yeah, 4 is the one with the long driveway.
Yep.
So we started there. I felt like that section was probably the worst section.
Yeah.
Because it was the least stabilized.
Just didn't take.
some
No.
did, some didn't. There's
Yeah.
and there's been enough scouring under the trees that
A lot of exposed roots.
yeah.
That section too, to me, looks a little steeper, which is probably why. Because when you get runoff in it, it's moving faster, it's eroding the soil.
Okay.
So there were some trees that got removed.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a section of the swale that kind of got sort of backfilled in, but it was all bare soil for the most part.
Okay.
So that section was pretty bare. There were sections up near the top that weren't in bad shape.
They were in pretty good shape.
Yeah, actually, those were in pretty good shape. They were flatter sections too, so I'm not that surprised where
Right.
the vegetation took a little bit more. Coming back down, so we were kind of walking, trying to get my bearings. I think we were kind of walking in a northerly direction. Back down to all the way at the bottom where it hits Woodside again, and that section wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad because we
Yeah.
walked up
That
that,
wasn't
way.
too bad.
when we looked. That's not bad.
There were a few sections here and there that were a little bit bare, but it wasn't too bad.
But no new erosion. There was no new
No,
siltation or anything.
No, and it's pretty flat at the bottom.
Yep.
So it must slow down once you get to the bottom.
Yeah.
So I think it was that first stretch near 4 Oakley. That's really, to me, that was the worst part.
There's that, and there's a nearly equivalent section on the opposite side. It's not in the same height, altitude,
Right.
whatever we would call it, but there is another section that on the opposite side that is also steep.
Yes.
Are they currently eroding, or are they just nothing ever grew?
I don't know that I could differentiate. I just
By
know
the
that-
amount of siltation, new siltation on it. Most time, no.
Darren, well,
that's what I'm
let's-
saying is, most time you get the fines and they sit there and not for long,
Yeah, the
but
fines.
then they start growing over. That's how I go new siltation versus
I would suggest looking at the photos, but to my recollection, the siltation is all
old.
Yeah, and it's all in the lower,
Okay.
flatter
Gotten
sections.
washed down.
Yeah, it had washed down. Some of it had, in my opinion, washed down. So starting at Oakley, looking down that hill,
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely siltation in there, but I can't tell you how old it is.
Okay.
And the day we were there was right after a
Oh, it rained that
A
whole
rain.
time. Right.
so now
Are you playing with this for Clay up there or not?
Depends if I get a call.
Okay, so I don't want to ask you. I'm just asking. Okay.
to my knowledge, Tom Larson is the guy who's doing this.
Oh,
Right now.
well, actually, he's here. What do we keep asking for, and they keep saying he has them?
The stormwater reports.
Do you have all the stormwater
I do,
reports?
for Brice to SWIP,
Yeah.
yes, for phase 3.
Haven't you asked for them?
I
Who'd
got
you
copies.
ask for? Did you ask him?
No.
You want
yes.
copies of them?
We went
Because I
through
got
that.
them in the book.
There's something. Yeah, because there was something on that.
So you won't. So hold on. Let's back up. You only got phase 3. You don't have phase 2.
I was only phase 3.
Okay.
But we watched, I've watched through phase 2 as it was progressing, and are there any issues out there right now that are, other than this swale that you're talking about?
So the detention pond that's no longer just phase 2 has had a number of issues that DCR's complained about.
Right, and that's kind of going in
Mhm.
circles, because that's part of,
It's now 4.
yeah, because there's pipes that come in from phase 4 that go into that,
Right.
so it's not part of the
It's
road
no longer part of
acceptance
2, yes.
of 2. And it's pretty close to what they need to put in, and I think it's gonna happen this summer, is the structure.
Mm-hmm.
And not that pipe that's there, they need to finish that.
When did that go from a oval to a oval with an L?
From phase,
Was that-
when,
But that wasn't part of the original plan, was it? That when we first saw that way back when?
that changed probably 5 years ago.
Okay. Because first time we walked out there
Right,
a
there
year
was
ago,
all-
all of a sudden we looked at it. I'm like, this isn't what we originally saw after Craig put it in. I'm like, where'd this
Yeah,
come
no,
from?
that-
Because I was
that
gone for a while.
That changed because of something up on
Okay.
the little cul-de-sac road.
Right.
That got reworked.
Yeah.
And then I also believe that going back in time, there was a detention pond that was on the other side of the crossing, but it was too close to the
Mhm.
brook. So we
Yeah.
couldn't have it there. We had to be 100 feet away from the wetland,
So you added
and there
it.
was nowhere to put it between the road and that, so we slid it,
Okay.
conveyed the water,
Right.
which is, a water conveyance is not stormwater BMP, it's a conveyance. So under definition,
Semantics.
we slid it down the road and put it there,
Did you just
and
joke?
that meets, unfortunately, that's
Okay.
what we had to do, and that's why that turned into a kidney shape instead of a
Yeah.
small pond.
I mean, when we walked it, I mean, the stuff coming out of the other end's fine now. They're not getting any
And then
siltation.
the other part on that pond was the connection to the rail trail.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was, planning board really wanted to,
Mhm.
that was last summer, they made that so it's passable, and
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
it's close.
I'll tell you what. Could you just bring the folder
Yeah.
next time, and we'll look at it
Yeah.
before the meeting
Yeah.
for anybody who's interested in looking at it.
It'd just be one of those, then, yeah, we've seen it.
Yep, exactly. We've seen it. We've got it. We know it's there. Because
We're just not.
frankly,
gonna-
we're not getting a lot of support from everybody who should
We're
be
just
seeing
not
this
gonna
information.
stand on top of the bank and arguing about where the foot is.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I
That's
didn't
okay.
mean to go off on a tangent, but I knew there was something we kept asking for.
That's fair.
I do remember most things.
So, my question to the commission is, are we doing anything more here?
I guess the biggest question on that is, are you considering it part of the drainage system or not because it wasn't part of the plan? It was a fix. You have to make that ruling before you can make it jurisdictional.
The swale can't be jurisdictional. Let's start with that. It's too far away from the wetlands.
It ties into it.
It
ties
does
into the
tie in,
drainage
but it
system.
doesn't become jurisdictional until something bad happens in the wetlands that you can trace back to the swale.
Then
That's tenuous.
So, we have a couple options. Number one, we close it down, we're done. Option two, we make a series of one or more recommendations to the builder about the swale based on what we saw and documented with the photographs. I don't think there's anything more we can do, although I'm certainly open to suggestions.
So here's my take on it. I don't think it's jurisdictional for us, unless there were some issue that could tie back to that, but it's very unlikely, considering how far it is from the wetlands.
it goes into the drains.
Even if it goes into the drains, it's gotta make it all the way to the wetlands.
If it hits,
Or at least in the
the
buffer.
detention basin, you're within 100 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying. I mean, normally I'm less
That-
restrictive, but that's such an intricate drainage system up there.
No.
Really?
Very simple.
When you put a leach field, it's going to take out.
Simple. These,
I've never seen a leach-
Stormwater is very simple.
I have never seen a leach field that goes before it hits a drainage basin. I'm like,
That's
really?
of course it
It's
is.
the dumbest thing in the world.
Infiltration. It is, but we have to do
Recharge
that.
before you
It's
do
simple.
detention.
Yeah. So when that clogs, it does nothing. I mean, it's
It's not
retarded.
gonna clog.
It's not gonna clog if you design it correctly and install it.
It was designed.
They're all gonna clog sooner or later.
DEP says it
it's
won't
gonna run
clog.
over
Who
the
are we
way
to
it is
tell
now.
you?
So, I feel like we've gotten a lot of complaints and concerns from the neighbors, the abutters. I feel like we should at least make some recommendations to, on behalf of them, in a way, is kind of what I'm getting at. I don't think we have jurisdiction, and our recommendations could be thrown in the trash, and there's really not much we can do about it, but I feel like it's worthwhile for us to do something. It would be really nice to understand who does have jurisdiction and who can't force that.
Well, it's
'Cause
on.
somebody should be able to, some board should be able to.
Well, the problem is,
It's on people's land.
it's on individual property owners' lands right now. So if there were a problem caused by that swale, the only people we can go after are the owners of the property where the siltation originates.
Which would be very unfair to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I'm not really in favor of any sort of enforcement action, even if it were jurisdictional.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only suggestion.
I just hate telling people.
Possibly
I'm sorry.
Put some riprap in there.
Well, you can put check dams.
They've got-
check dams and respray it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's about what you're gonna do.
Yeah,
in spray. I mean, that's simple and easy.
Mhm.
If you put some riprap check dams in there and respray and rehydroseeds it
Yep.
with multi-year grass.
You don't want to put annuals in there, really?
Multi-year grass would be better. Smile joy.
Good stuff.
And that'd be the suggestion.
Yeah, I think that's
That's it, and it's just it's a suggestion.
all we can do is suggest. But I think that
I don't think we can require anything,
No.
unfortunately.
all right.
Scott, can you just repeat one more time what you said? It was a check dam?
Riprap check dams and rehydroseed bare areas with perennial grass. Or slope mix. Man, probably slope mix would be better.
Slope mix.
Slope mix would be
definitely.
better.
Yeah.
When growing season, not summertime.
Yes.
Say real soon now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did see Tom's pictures last time, and
Yeah.
what we, well, I don't know exactly where the pictures were. There was clearly some good growth, and I agree.
Mhm.
There was some good growth that we saw.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not enough to really prevent some of the problems that we see.
Right.
I think the pictures he took, it looked to me like it was closer to the top
Close to
part
the
of
top,
swale.
yeah.
Yeah, which did look pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot more vegetation took up there.
Peter, how would you like this recommendation shared with Mr. Blair? Do you want that to come from me, come from you?
From the board.
Yeah, from the
From the
commission.
board, from the commission.
Yeah.
Just suggestions.
Okay. Can do that.
Who's that gonna go to?
Clea.
I'd send it to Clea and to Tom.
Would you consider CCing that to the complainants?
No, I wouldn't,
No,
no.
no.
No?
Can you add on that one? Just ask for the feedback. Ask for Tom and Clea's feedback on that.
Okay.
So we don't say if nothing happens, it went on deaf ears. They can still go to deaf ears, but I'd like to know, hey, yeah, we heard what you said, and we're going to tell
They
you
did
no.
read it.
Well, yeah, I actually, since we're making suggestions, and there are only suggestions, we can ask that he follow up with whatever actions he's going to take.
Yes. Just for a feedback, it's just one of those.
Exactly. Yes, you're
I mean,
right.
that's
That's,
about
that's the feedback that we're looking for.
Right. You know, here's you know what? It's not a real thing, but this would probably make everybody feel better. And you can tell us no, but okay. But
So, Jared, I'm going to ask you to work with Tamika to make sure that we properly phrase it as in the way it needs to be for this
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
that sounds good.
Can do that.
Do you want to me to draft something up and take a look at it?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
works.
works.
Cool.
Simple.
Any other questions from anybody about Oakley Drive?
Wasn't anybody online?
There is somebody on there.
Okay.
Julian, they start on that
Yeah.
lot.
Have any questions? I mean, we kind of figured this was gonna happen. So I guess in the future, if something does go awry, that it doesn't come back on us, because we have complained about it so many times. I mean, it wasn't properly done to begin with. So even if they come back and seed, what are we gonna do if the seed doesn't stick? You know, it's on us then to go find professionals to fix the issue that we didn't even know was gonna be on our property to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't really have any questions, but more concerns.
I sympathize. I'm sorry we're not able to do more. But our powers are our powers.
Yeah. And the planning board wouldn't have jurisdiction over this?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so. No, because there's nothing on the public land. Planning board cares about what's in the road and what's under the road. And
So,
they don't really get involved with stormwater. Not really.
Quick question, because, so we had the meeting yesterday for phase 2 to be passed over to the town, and it's put in, there was a thing in there that said drainage swales. So that's not referring to our drainage swale, it's just referring to other drainage swales that happen to be on public property.
What meeting is this?
So yesterday there was,
Oh,
the special commission, I can't remember the exact name, but, the first meeting in order to get, phase 2 passed over to the town.
yeah, yes, their motion to do street acceptance.
Yeah, and a part of that street acceptance, there was a passage in there, one of the numbers literally said drainage swales on it. So,
But it's only
I-
the drainage swales that exist in the roadway, in the public, in the right of way for the sections of road being taken by the town.
okay.
And I don't know that there are any.
No, it's just, yeah, interesting, because I don't believe there are any except for the huge drainage swale that goes into our properties.
Right. I believe you're right. I believe all the swales are on private land. I don't think there are any on
In the right of way.
the right of way or in anything that the land is taking or any of the open space or anything.
Unless you're gonna consider where they put the bridge, that's a swale underneath it. That's
That's already accepted. Oh, you mean in the phase 4? Yeah, phase 4 will be a whole new. Phase 4 will be a whole nother set of problems.
Okay.
Okay. Let me reshare. There's the magic share button. Okay, I think I don't see anybody else here or remote who are interested, so, or actually who have any other agenda items, so let's start with some submissions, as long as the commission is okay with that. So,
Peter, should we make a motion to add it?
exactly what I was going to
Oh,
suggest.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, you're right.
Okay.
So I'd like, well, if it is someone's pleasure, then please make a motion to add NOI submissions for 78 Main Street, Lot 9A Walnut Street, Lot 1A Kenwood Drive, and Lot 2B Kenwood Drive.
So moved.
Second.
Then, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, Julian, let's start. I'm just going to do this in the order they're in my inbox, and I'll just pop them up here.
That came from my office.
What?
Those, the ones that you just,
Yeah, I got all 4 this
oh
afternoon.
my God, they're fast.
I thought
I
that
was just
you.
bringing
I'm
this
not sure
in,
that
say,
was
all
here.
right, we'll get everything in an email tomorrow to you guys. I don't like this email stuff. Scary.
Oh!
That's the first one, all right. Now,
This
I
is
don't know what
stormwater
the
report.
advertising fee, so I wanted to write one check for all 4 of these.
Can I email you on that, because they've changed it and it's a weird number.
I'm prepared, I just want to note that I'm prepared to
Yes,
take
you
care of
are.
that. So,
I
yes,
can double check.
and I will
It's
drop
like
that off. Will you tell me?
$32.16.
You just let me know what it is and I'll make sure I drop it off into your box.
Yes, I
So,
can do
but
that.
I was, that's all I was worried
But
about.
you can certainly
Give her a
write,
blank check, she'll take it.
I was gonna say-
Sign it.
You don't have to refuse any
Fine.
checks to
Julian, you still need to write the check for the telegram.
No, that's what.
That's what we're talking about.
So they
I got the
Oh.
checks for everything else.
And the
Oh,
fee
they
changed.
changed.
They changed the fee, and I just
Well, let's
discovered
make it
that
right, so I
recently,
just
so-
let, email me what it
Yeah.
is and I'll bring it up to the,
Oh, yeah, the print is bigger now.
It's a cool million. It's fine.
That's what fees
Five
For
feet.
each of us.
No, just one.
Okay.
Go on vacation. Just one on vacation.
Don't be greedy.
You don't want to get greedy.
alright. So,
All right. So
just
I'm
to
gonna-
give you a,
Poor Melissa's
is-
not here.
That's stormwater, not
the
that.
Martelli garage area,
Yeah.
that's where this building is going to be put. It's going through planning board, I think it's gone through planning board and
Yeah.
it's all
It's
in
approved.
a favorable condition.
I'm
And
just
there's a
looking for the map, I
swell
don't see one.
off to the right. Yeah, these don't print out so well,
No.
but that's what comes off of the computer. If you go to the site plan, we'll be able to explain the most.
That's what I'm looking for. I don't,
No, it's there. We've done
I'm
it.
not saying it's not. I'm just saying I ain't seen it yet.
We saw it last time.
We have seen it in the past. If it's here, so look. Good page.
Dinner's ready.
Nope.
Damn.
Plans didn't get attached.
I don't see a plan in here. I'll just, nope, that's every single page. I've just been every page back to
Is there
front.
another,
Because we talked
Thing
about
that went with it, 'cause
guardrail
that would
and the
be
other stuff we
one
wanted to
thing.
drain or something.
The only other thing is
That
the
last
stormwater
meeting.
plan.
Remember, so we saw our plan.
So we'll go
Did say
through it.
something.
well, I'll make sure you get, I got a hard copy here, I can,
Yeah.
just to, that's the whole stormwater gigantic report.
Yeah.
There's your watersheds. So that went all through Quinn Engineering Review, just so you
Right.
know. But let me just open this up. So that didn't get attached. Or it didn't go through.
I don't know. It's quite.
That's about 500 pages.
Hmm.
But it's very simple. Stormwater.
That's not the
Did
plan.
you work
but-
for DEP?
It's simple
Or
as long as you
DCR?
don't fall asleep reading it.
It's definitely not in that group.
Yeah.
It would be an attached plan,
Yeah.
so that didn't get
Okay.
attached.
What do you got? What do you got,
I will-
Julian?
I have the hard copy, I'll get the attached to you. If you wanna see it. Here is Martelli Garage.
Yep.
Here's Main Street. This is where all the bulldozers and tractors and all his equipment and everything are all parked like right in the road here. Here's your actual road that goes in there. So at the bottom of the swale, there's a wetland right at the toe of the slope. This is all years of fill and whatever. So we're within the 100 foot. So we've got a big infiltration system.
Mm-hmm.
The impervious area that we've got to deal with. That's all been reviewed by Carl and Quinn, and so that's what we've got. There'll be a driveway that comes in and goes out, and comes in and goes out. That's kind of the format that they wanted for their facility.
So, I mean, I assume you're not gonna change.
Not
Looks
changing
like you're
anything.
not changing
No,
anything
not
over
changing
here.
anything. Actually, nothing's changing except that we're putting a stone for the infiltration to have a bleed out right at the top of the slope here, and it's going over flat land before it even goes to the slope. So, no. And this is all a parking lot right now
Right.
to begin with. But we still let it go through,
Mm-hmm.
because this isn't asphalt, this is gravel. So putting all this asphalt gains you that much infiltration.
Right, right.
It's just, it's pretty rough.
How big is the building?
56 by 32, ranch house,
Yeah.
pretty much. Not much there.
Scott's got a bigger garage than that.
Don't die.
He doesn't have a garage.
So that's what we got.
I expect that one of the questions you will receive, assuming that everyone from the commission is here, will include an understanding of the snowplow plan so that we don't get,
Here's snow.
snow storage.
Mhm.
Nice.
Snow storage.
Salt away.
We got a whole bunch of,
Yeah, 'cause we talked about that. We said, store it away.
Don't store it here,
Right.
right?
no,
So we
Right.
talked
push it
about-
out.
Right.
No, we got it.
So I mean, if this is
We
this is
figured
the
for it.
100.
There's another one,
Oh, it's got a,
there's another one down
oh, I
in
see.
here.
Wetlands are right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little finger that
Yeah.
goes,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what we got. So we did accommodate for snow storage, or
Mhm.
snow area, and
No magic.
Do we need a sidewalk? I mean, it's a flat level area right now, right?
Right.
And you can see it
and
from
we're not
freaking
changing
Main
any
Street.
of that grade there,
Yeah.
that's all.
Is it flag joint?
It is flagged. You can probably, if you drive up this lane real slow, you look down in the swale, you see the flags.
I got no questions on it. It's
So,
face needs a nice flat
I'll
lot.
get
Yeah,
you that. I'll make sure.
since
that
there's
this
not
gets-
a ton of earthwork, I don't know that there's a ton of,
No.
anything to
Actually,
review.
very, very, very little earthwork. There's
Is that gonna be a slab on grade?
slab on grade.
alrighty, add that to the 19th. Now,
Here it is.
let's, submission for lot 9A Walnut Street.
So you probably didn't get any plans on any of
I
these.
suspect that they're.
That might have not clicked in, so I'll get those.
They're all fired.
No. No, that won't happen.
Yeah, these are,
Eventually, we'll have to do it.
No, that will not happen ever. They might fire me.
yeah, that's the same NOI, it's just the NOI without a map.
Right,
Without a
so
plan.
this is. Where this one's located, you guys have actually been out in this area. This is, here's Walnut and Kenwood. This
Yep.
was done by the guy from Nantucket.
Mm-hmm.
He had done a bunch of stuff in here. And this is, the old cornfield is still here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the 100-foot buffer here. We got the 200-foot from the river. There's a river in here. There's the river watershed zone A line.
Right.
And then there's a wetland across the street. So we got a 100-foot buffer this way, we got a 100-foot buffer this way, we got a 200-foot line this way, we got a 200-foot line this way, but we got plenty of room to fit a septic in the house and meet what we need to meet. And it's just very little grading in this one too. It's relatively flat. It's the old cornfield. It still
Yeah.
remains of a cornfield. So, and that's what we got on this one.
Questions?
No.
I'll ask the same question every time that I remember to. Sidewalk or have we seen that area enough?
Whose is it?
Susie's.
Look as we want. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't.
It's all within.
I mean, we've looked at all of that over there.
It's all
It's
area.
the field.
Yeah.
More up and then we can't.
And you're right about that.
I'm not
You
even.
can pretty much see this one driving by also.
It's funny. Overlap this
This
one.
is
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. 1A on Kenwood.
one day in
And
Kenwood.
again, we don't have we just have the NOI, so no
This
matter.
one. 1A on Kenwood, 1A and 2A are very close, so we need to pull up.
I assume you don't have DEP numbers at all yet.
No, no,
Yeah.
this is.
I didn't remember seeing anything on these.
Hopefully. This is very close to the same neighborhood again. Here's Walnut, we were just there. This is the
Just around the
Tackless
corner.
Pond, right around the corner. And this is lot 1A, single-family house. There's a septic. We also have zone A 200. We got a wetland buffer that comes off of this. Here's your 15 foot.
Mhm.
We kept that out of there. And the intersection's like right here.
Yeah.
So, and the pond is over there. So we made sure we had all the criteria we needed.
That's flat too, right?
That's fine. You can pretty much see that. If you drive through that intersection, you stop here, you
Right.
can just see it down through the, it's all mountain laurel, heavy mountain laurel. So actually, the better part of the property is in the 200-foot zone. Right, so
course,
there's 200 feet of beautiful mountain laurel,
Mm.
and then there's the wetlands, so we gotta keep 100 feet away.
Yeah.
We got it. With the septic.
Right.
Mhm.
So, and that's that one. And then we'll just open up the plan for the other one, it's gonna be right adjacent to
I was
this.
gonna say, right next door, yeah?
You just clipped that drawing to the wrong package.
There's two, that's 9A, that's 1A. This one is up the street a little further. The lots touch, but the location where the house is being built. I'm sure where it is. There's a stone wall over here. And then here's that same intersections down here. This is the one we just looked at.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get a septic up in this area because I have to be 100 feet away because this is a water reservoir area. It can't be 50 feet away, I have to be 100. So what we're doing is we're proposing this soil's, all this is good area. So we're putting a septic down here for the house up here and we're coming across to get to it.
Pump.
Pump,
Interesting.
so.
Interesting.
this is
Okay.
a, it is, but it's, I've done this quite a few times.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting there's anything wrong.
It's,
It's,
but that way
it's
we
a change from a norm, that's
Yeah, because I couldn't beat the 100 foot.
Yeah.
I only had 100 foot, there's like a little tiny section right up in here.
Right.
Right there, there's 100 foot buffer. And now I have to be 10 feet off the property line.
Mhm.
I didn't want to stop playing the, supersonic
Right.
septic area, so that's what we got. This is very similar to what I got at my office. My septic is
Well, it's what you talked about doing on
almost
56 too.
Yeah.
Lot one.
Same idea.
It's,
Where does that stand?
which one?
Lot 1 on 56.
My lot 156? They beat me.
Did they?
I can't fight 15 lawyers on the state payroll. I said, we'll figure out something else. So right now, that was a rough one.
Hey, when in doubt, cadaver farm.
That's right.
Is that what it is nowadays?
We ever told you that?
So that's what we
No, I
got.
don't think you know about that.
It's a, these are all, this is a 3-acre lot, that's gonna be a 5-acre lot. You know, but, you're limited.
So how many acres does this come out to?
This one's 5, there's remaining 32 more acres, but that's all the pond.
Stuff you'll never get to,
Yeah, that's just,
Right. Okay.
that's the pond that the new Rutland Heights project is
Yeah.
draining into, so we're gonna
Right.
make sure that that's protected. That's a pretty pond right now.
So, the house is there, the septic's here.
Yep.
Who
The
owns?
Easement, this is owned, this easement, the rights to this is owned by this.
Right, okay, they get an easement for
Yes, they have an easement
for
for
the
this.
pipe and for
Yep.
the septic, okay.
Yep,
And this is just part of that remaining
just part of
land.
the remaining land
Got it.
with this defined legal use.
Oh,
So, more of a detail of that, so.
Why
That's what we got.
Why wouldn't you just cut it off? Just
Well-
curious I'm just curious from an engineering point.
You could, but if you wanna make it bigger, say they wanted a little bit more room in that area, now you gotta go to the planning board. It's
Okay.
a non-conforming lot.
Okay.
It's not, doesn't mean, I could just, I'll be here
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
Okay. I was just curious.
Describing why they can sign a plan with a lot that doesn't mean zoning, because it's not a house lot. So,
Right.
so that's why that, so.
They're flagged.
Yeah,
All
like, we'll just wonder
They're all
about
flagged.
before
We'll-
the
we'll
hearing.
wander.
Pretty much see everything, and then you can just get me the, I was so excited, I got them, because every time, you gotta check for the
If you
advertising.
can wait a second,
But I'll drop it off,
I
I mean,
think, well, let me
Those,
check.
all 3 of those are Jimmy's?
yeah.
He owns it, right?
He's owns one of them outright, and he's involved in the other,
Okay.
so.
Well, just in case you actually wanna. Well,
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
You have all.
that just making
guys have
sure.
all walk wherever you want.
I'm just making sure.
And if you have any questions, call me. I'm only.
Hmm.
But not 4 individual times because gas costs too much. I don't have one of them electric cars. That's
No,
crazy,
I won't.
huh?
I won't say a word.
Imagine that. You ever think that would ever happen?
That are powered by coal. So 40
Steam.
coal.
Coal engines.
40% of the
can't do
power.
that.
40% of the electric power producing plants are coal. So that means 40% of the cars on the road are powered by coal.
Right.
If you want to put it in layman's
So
terms.
we're going backwards instead of forwards.
We're getting worse instead of better.
It's okay, just wait till the nukes get put in and we'll be fine.
The ones coming from Russia, or
Yeah. Hey,
No, we're all sitting
there
there.
is one car manufacturer, domestic, that has vowed on certain lines of their vehicles, they will not be going electric.
who's that?
Chrysler.
Who buys a Chrysler?
No, they're talking about their, the Challenger, the
Oh.
Charger.
Yeah.
They're gonna go to
They have a new
hydrogen.
follow-on too, to the
Oh,
challenge.
hydrogen.
They're going to hydrogen, 800 horsepower hydrogen engines.
They
The
talked,
engines have already been built.
they talked hydrogen years ago,
Well,
and
they have
it's water vapor that
1,000
comes up the
horsepower
tailpipe,
in
and
that, but
you
the
go.
Hellcat,
My biggest problem
What
with any of
would
those
you
is
need?
how's it work when it's 27 below zero?
where would you ever even feel that without
I mean, it's even all the electric
Well,
cars that
don't
take them up
use-
north.
1,000
They're
horsepower?
not gonna
They don't
sell them
work.
in Canada
No. Well,
or Maine.
Maine.
Those ones that they already have, the Hellcat with 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They're doing
Why?
Hydrogen.
What do you need that for? Because you could say, I got
Because
that.
yeah, because you could say, I got it.
Because
It's
I
in my
got it.
garage. Yeah.
There's a Board of Health agent in Oxford, Purcell, Tom Purcell, who has that car, and he came up to a perk test with it. I'm like, he comes up the road, I'm like, what in the world? He's, And I see a little symbol on the side, it's a
Yeah.
cat with a red eye.
Yeah.
I'm like, I heard about those, he goes, this is one of them, over 1,000 horsepower under that, right? And you can never, where are you gonna take that? $395. So, but,
I can't find it.
that's all right, I will assure you this will be, and as soon as you get that, give me 1 day to get it
I can
from
do
here
that.
to there. and
It's a
we'll-
weird amount. It's like $32.16 or something.
That's a good
So I
amount.
just
That's
wanted
easy.
to check.
All right, so we're on April 12th?
19.
19th. April 19th.
Planning board's the 12th. Good luck with that, whatever you have to do with them.
Why?
I don't know. Well, because
Why?
I've seen their
I was
agenda.
gonna say it's like contentious now.
Oh, is there a lot on the
They've got,
agenda?
what, 5 hearings?
Really?
Now, some of them are
Some
citizen
people say-
petition for zoning law change.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. Well, I'll be there.
Change zoning, that sounds simple.
Everything's simple. Stormwater's the simplest.
Right.
Remember this.
Water goes in the ground.
Here, it's here for you to protect you, and I'm not sure from what.
When there's a storm, there's water.
It's a new thing, rainwater. Oh, well, thank you guys very much.
Thanks very
See
much,
you-
Julian.
See you
Good
in
to
a
see you
little
in
while.
person.
I know, that's nice. Yeah,
Julian.
see ya.
Have a good one.
All right. So let's see if we can do a lightning round. We've already done 1, 2. Number 3, cell tower, site visit. Jared, I'll let you do the report again.
Trying to remember this one.
This is, okay, so,
Oh, yeah. I remember this one now. So now they're coming in off of Phillips Road
Mhm.
instead of coming in off of the school driveway. So they gotta do a wetland crossing over there. Looked at a couple options. The one they chose looked to be the best of the two. Least amount of wetland impact.
Mhm.
And then we talked with, Chris?
Chris Lucas, yeah.
Chris Lucas. Talked through with Chris a couple of areas he was going to look into to try to increase the replication, maybe try to do 1.5 to 1, but it looked like they could pretty easily get the 1 to 1.
Yeah.
And part of that trail, that's where they're definitely going to replicate where the trail is right now.
Yeah,
That was part of their plan.
that is good that the owner plans to not use their current path.
Yeah.
They'll use the new one. In fact, they're very happy that this other company's going to make a nice
gravel road.
way to
Yeah.
get into the
Yeah.
back of their property.
We did talk about where the path is today, the walking path, about maybe putting like a couple boulders on both sides, just
Right.
so that people don't continue walking through there.
Something we'll probably condition when we get there,
Yeah.
but I will say I am a little surprised that we don't yet have the filing, the submission. The applicant wasn't sure, or Chris wasn't sure, if they wanted to do the special permit first through the ZBA.
Oh, right.
I think that's what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
And so I'll talk now about the 19th. The 19th, our next meeting, is the day after the 18th, which is Patriots' Day, which is a holiday, so the select board can't meet on the 18th. The select board are meeting on the 19th.
Is
If,
that a choose skip? We gotta pick a side.
that's right, each of you have to decide which group you want to be with, and I have my own opinion, but that doesn't matter right now. So, one of the issues that we have not yet resolved is where the meeting will be held, where our meeting will be held. I have warned the select board, I might kick them out of this room. And let me be clear, if the cell tower had been on the agenda, I would kick them out in a heartbeat, because there'll just be too many people here, in my opinion. But since that's not, we actually have the small conference room reserved. The big room's already being used, so we can't use that one anyway.
What about that little room right there?
What, the studio or in the annex?
No, I'll go out this door, turn a left down the hall.
Yeah,
Behind that door.
that's the studio.
Yeah, the studio.
We have cameras, we don't have mics in there.
Oh. Okay, no, I'm just,
And the other thing that this room has that the other rooms don't have is a projector.
yeah, true.
And we need a projector, and I don't know the last time the select board actually needed one.
All right, I'm gonna ask a dumb question.
Sure,
Not a stupid one, a dumb
a
one.
dumb one.
Can't you?
What's the, this has happened, not numerous times, but it
It happens from
occasionally
time
happens.
to time, yes. Last time it
What's the
happened to the
chances,
planning board.
what's the chances of, if when this occurs, and the select board has to go to Tuesday rather than Monday, well, why can't we go to Wednesday instead of Tuesday?
We could if we were willing to.
Well, that's the question.
Now,
Would we consider something like that?
the commission has never discussed it to my knowledge.
That's correct.
Us moving is scheduling wise possible that there could be an issue with room availability, especially since everybody's booking this room a month to 6 weeks in advance.
Sorry. The majority of those are from me.
They are, so yes, I blame you, Tamika. That's fine.
I'm efficient, so.
But if we're on the, if we go,
We
if we
would
go
know-
after that
We
first,
should know, and we could certainly do that in the future. I don't know that we could. No, technically, we could do it. No, but the 20th is still. This room is still reserved. Should be on the 20th for HPDD review board.
Yeah.
So even if we put it off, this one off by one day, we'd still have a room problem.
I won't be here, so it's fine.
Fine.
You won't be here for the next meeting?
No.
So I was gonna let you know, so I don't forget, I also won't be here for the next meeting.
Ooh.
I am away for a few days.
Where are you going?
Maine, Portland.
Oh, I'm going to Jamaica.
Nice.
So.
That sounds warmer.
That's actually a very important thing to know.
Because you might not get a quorum.
So it's up to 1, 2, 3, and Melissa. We all have to be here or we don't have quorum.
And that's tough because we have a lot of stuff.
Well, the good news is we haven't posted any hearings yet.
No, but if we go past 21 days, I'll have to get permission from all of the applicants to
Yeah, that's true.
continue it.
actually, I don't know, you gotta get permission.
If you don't know the
No,
hearing
if
in
we
21
if
days,
we
Yeah,
don't start the
there's-
hearing in 21 days, it is approved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do commissions do that only meet once a month?
They do the I don't know. I shouldn't talk because I don't know the answer to that question.
there's a
Call
form
Holden
I
and
can
find out
send
what they
back.
do. Holden meets once a month.
Only once a month?
Huh?
Wow, I'm surprised.
There's a lot of commissions that only meet once a month. Because that was always a question in my mind, how do you get around the 21 day?
Yeah.
Maybe we're riding them out right now.
And maybe nobody's ever complained to Holden.
Mm.
I don't know.
I would need to know no later than this Thursday if we're going to move forward with the 19th so I can meet the publication deadline.
Right. So.
So,
So let's talk about the 19th and make a decision on the 19th. And since you guys aren't going to be there, but I don't know what Melissa's availability would be on a different night.
Yeah, and even that's tough anyways, because all of a sudden everybody says it now and somebody's gone, you just see the
Some-
difference. The same
Anything
difference.
happens, that's right.
and I do know she has meetings other evenings for
Right.
board.
For her job.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I don't. That's tough.
So I hesitate to move this one off the 19th. I think we're too close.
Well, I wasn't
to
saying to do it now.
Yeah, no. For future, we can absolutely talk about that because it's not that hard to figure out which ones are going to conflict with us.
Right.
So, just to mention, Peter, if we did decide or thought about moving it to Wednesday the 20th,
Mm-hmm.
I can't guarantee it, but it's possible I could make it on Wednesday. Because I think we come back home earlier that day. But I wouldn't want to
It's,
say 100%.
yeah, getting a room, actually, getting a
Sounds like
room
that
in
part is
this
gonna be difficult.
building is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as far as, so from my own selfish perspective, getting in this building is the easiest,
Mm-hmm.
but if we can't do that, we've always got the annex,
Mm-hmm.
which is not easy for TV.
Does it have to be televised?
So, whoops, it didn't get televised. Whoops.
Well, it could be, though. I would, with hearings not being,
Is there a law that says
Actually-
it have to be publicized?
what's that?
Is it a law that says it have to be on TV?
It does not have to be on TV, but we do need to be careful with open meeting law because we will have very, no matter where, unless we're in Blair Room or here, we have very limited public accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means we have to be on Zoom. That was going to be, we have to allow remote participation, period.
And we have a lot of ACH will be that night.
Yeah.
We've got these four.
These four aren't going to be meaningful for a public participation thing. I don't even think HCH is going to be that big a deal. I think there will be a couple of people who look, but there won't be participation. That's, again, my gut feel on this. Yeah, Mike will be around every time. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. So I'm just going to suggest that we keep the next meeting on the 19th, and that we I'll make a because we got 5 hearings. I have to think a little carefully about how we will do what we need to do and what the select board needs to meet its needs with Zoom and visibility and public participation. All of that stuff's all got to be dealt with.
Does select board use Zoom for their meetings?
Yes.
Okay. And there's only one account, or are there more?
We have 3
Oh, we
accounts.
have 3. Okay. That's good. Avoids one board kicking another board off.
That's happened more than once.
Yeah, I remember that.
Happened last month to somebody.
Oh, jeez.
To in fact, a cell tower hearing.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. You look like you're getting ready to say something, Scott.
Those aren't a big deal for 19th. If
Those
if they didn't happen.
Yeah.
How about trees for him? To push him out again, he's already got somebody lined up.
Yeah, I would obviously rather not push him out.
Push him out.
Who?
The tree guy.
Oh, it's,
69.
yeah, but
Warrington.
we really don't have much to say about
But
that.
we don't.
But if you
We're
don't
not
have, but if we
pushing
don't
it
have a
out.
meeting, he's gonna get all held up and screwed
Yeah.
up. Not that I'm trying to make a special
I don't
condition,
know,
but that's
do we
what-
even need, because it's not jurisdictional, do we even need to have a meeting?
Let's look at it and do comment.
Can we just assign a couple of folks to go over there, look and say,
do
give them the
comments?
blessing?
Well, we all know that we can all just go and look at it. That's already
Right.
we've already talked about that. I think what we want to be sure that we all agree that there isn't a problem. And that's the point of the meeting.
Right.
Even though it is, yes, I'm going to talk like Tim now. Yes, even though it is just crossing T's and dotting I's, yes, just stop laughing.
See, the flip side of that coin, right, that we're not looking at, and has not been discussed here yet, is the fact that he can be held liable by his insurance company should one of those trees fall on his house. Okay? He's gonna be put in jeopardy. And that's the way you gotta look at that. I okayed a tree to come down that was right next to a pond, right, because the tree was teetering over the roof of the house. Okay? I went out and looked myself and said, take it down, don't, why are you asking me? Because,
Well, if something were that emergent, he could just take it down.
right,
And
but that's what I'm saying. Because these trees have a history of already landing on that roof.
He started, I don't know how it got that to be that he started with the DEP? Because I got the phone call from them.
He did because there's a pond in front. That's the mill house.
Yeah.
So it's a spill pond.
Mm-hmm.
So it's there, so he knows it's an issue. So he reached out, unlike most people who just cut damn trees.
Right.
He dotted I's and crossed T's ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
and went, well, hey, I'm gonna see if I have to do anything.
Yeah.
So, in
See,
fact,
we're making more of a deal out of it than it really is.
so what I'm going to suggest is that we plan to have a meeting on the 19th.
Yep.
If we can't get quorum, I, as chair, will sign off on the approval, unless somebody said, on writing the letter of whatever,
And that's just a discussion.
and that is
Right,
just
that's
discussion,
not a
not a
hearing.
vote.
That's not a
Doesn't
hearing.
need a vote.
That's the
Yeah.
only reason we can actually talk about this.
Right.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you'd be going, wait a second, what are you
So
doing?
either way, that item will not get held up.
Right.
That's-
Unless, yeah.
And I agree
So
that we need to make sure there is no holdup.
So
I
any-
agree with that
right.
completely.
Right.
Right.
See,
And those, they can slide a couple of weeks on that,
Okay, are you going to come here?
Susie.
Oh, they can slide a couple weeks.
Yeah,
well, this is gonna be my dilemma,
Mhm.
depending on what's on the agenda for the select board.
Yep. You may need to be
I
in
may
that meeting.
need to be there to defend what I started Monday night.
Right.
Did you start a fight?
So that means no quorum.
That means no
So
quorum.
if he can't make it, there will not be a quorum.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to pre-prep for that because
No,
that's
no,
only a
that's-
discussion.
that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
and I mean, what else? So, okay,
So let's-
Harbor Classic Homes will be held up for a week, for a meeting. You know, assuming we don't get quorum for a minute.
right.
Then Harbor Classic Homes gets held up. I'm sorry, but there's
I
nothing
mean,
we
they've
can
been
do
dragging
about
their feet, just how, it's been taking a long time to get this thing off at the ground to begin with, so
Yep.
another week or two isn't.
it. 2
Right.
weeks is not 2. Yeah, it's 2 weeks this time.
Yeah.
So,
And those are what they are.
yeah, those are going to be what they are. Harbor Class is the only one that's interesting. Is there anything else
That would be
interesting and important that we know of that's going to be important on the agenda? And the answer is, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
because-
So, given that the select board will probably be meeting here,
I don't know that.
where do we wanna see,
So-
if we
so-
got a quorum?
I actually have the ability
Just kick them out.
to kick the
If you
select
kick
board
them
out
out,
of
they
this
would have to
room.
do
I
it
have that
6
power.
That's impressive.
Are you trying to get fired?
He's talking like a Democrat.
Now, I'm talking like the guy who reserves this room,
Sorry.
who's
Okay.
in charge of allocating this room to whoever he feels.
He's
And
gonna edit that part out.
that's right. And to be fair, our policy says we may have given you a reservation and then said no, you can't have it after all. That's the
Right.
power of the Cable Advisory Committee.
Right. Okay.
So
I just wanted to
so
bring that
if
up.
it comes to that, if we believe that there is a need for a meeting, well, no, I'm saying that differently. If we believe that we're going to have quorum, which we'll know in advance of the meeting, because we'll know Skip's agenda, we'll know the select board agenda.
Yep.
If we believe we're going to have a quorum, we will probably hold it here, and I'll kick select board
Mm-hmm.
into Calkins,
Right.
which I have reserved for Concom, but sleight of hand.
Right.
If it turns out we're not going to have quorum, select board can be here, there's no problem. I will meet personally with the landowner.
Yep.
We'll just make sure he comes in. We'll have a one-on-one conversation. I'll say, this looks good, everything's fine.
Okay. We approve. We'll let you
Yeah.
do that. We'll let you do that. I just.
Well, thanks.
So Peter, just to be clear, am I still going to publish these as if we're gonna do it April 19th?
Yes.
I think we
You have to.
have to. We can't know that we won't.
Okay.
Could just get sideways. But it's important to
okay.
discuss.
Now, hold on. There is another option. We can meet later than 6 o'clock. We can give the select board time to do the stuff that needs Skip.
And I could walk out.
And then what? That's right. So if we meet at 7, like we used to, a very, very long time ago, then yes, we'd be a little later, but we would still have, I believe,
But what if Skip can't get out by then?
we could still, practically speaking, if they can't arrange the agenda to get Skip out in, I'm just going to say an hour and a half, we can delay for a half hour.
Yeah.
So we can do all kind, we have lots of options.
So why don't you start at 7?
We started, post for 7, all the hearings at 7 and not 6, and make sure Julian knows it's at 7.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Well, I don't post times on them anymore because that is not required, so I will let him know that we're starting
Yeah,
at
I would
7,
say, yeah.
but I don't post it that way.
Right. Yeah. That gives you a lot of leeway.
Yeah. So we'll plan to start at 7.
Because I only
Will-
see 2 or 3 things that I need to be there for.
Yeah.
That $193,000,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
if,
that will be coming back because they
That's
found the info.
That was a great
they were
donation,
looking
thanks, Skip.
for. They found where the money was, so that will definitely be on the agenda.
that was Harper money.
I apologize, I'm thinking of the grant for the prison camps.
Oh, no, the grant,
Forget me.
that shouldn't even, that's even nothing to do with us. That's those
No.
guys over there.
Sorry, I got confused.
Hysterical.
What was going on last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's our plan for the 19th.
Yep.
Okay,
For those of us who are going to be
I'm
here.
gonna move for adjournment.
Okay, we just need to get through the rest of this quickly, hopefully.
Subtle hint.
Yeah, very subtle, Joe. All right. CR from Maple Hill Estates. I'm actually, instead of going to show it, I am going to try and find, no, that's the one. So we actually have, by the way, did you put the Word version up there also? On the,
I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing it, but that's just me not remembering. Okay,
I also-
it doesn't matter for this discussion.
Okay.
So, this is the response from George to our changes to the CR for Maple Hill Estates. Number 1, remove the reference to the baseline report. I don't know if there is a baseline report. The answer is, of course there isn't a baseline report. We make it. Around the time that the CR is done, we create the baseline report. So I need to send that off to him. And the second one, to change granite bounds to iron pins, because there's going to be a fence along the whole point of the granite bounds was for us to be able to visually see the property line, but there's now going to be a fence on the property line, so I don't care. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess the question to the commission is, how strongly do we feel about making a baseline report? And Melissa's not here.
What does that entail?
That's walking the property saying, this is what we, basically documenting the state of the land.
Okay.
Probably pictures, definitely a description of what we see for what's in the land, whether there's any trash on the property, anything that would that we want to be sure we note so that future commissions can look at the property and say it hasn't changed. That's the point of the baseline report. Now, since let's also remember, this is the first one of these we have ever been involved in. And every open space division is going to have one of these from now on. The CRs that were done in the past were not perpetual conservation restrictions. They had 30-year time limits. So they never went to the state for review and approval. And our current town planner is a very firm believer in perpetual conservation restrictions, not ones that expire. So that's why this went down this whole path.
Oh, so he's gonna write the baseline report.
No,
So this is the one they were talking about Monday night,
yes.
yeah, that the state's,
Look, the process is, once we approve it, that Clee/George sends it to the state for approval. They send it back, probably without changes. We sign it, select board signs it, Clee gets it on the registry attached to the deed. And yeah, baseline report, yeah, whatever else we need to do, but we don't have a lot of work to do from there. I will say I have been assured that there is an easement everywhere there needs to be for us to be able to get to each property.
This is the one up here, right?
Yeah, Teresa Drive, Maple Hill Estates.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
You know
down.
what? That's a good way to get your feet wet. That's the right one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I assume doing a baseline report for a perpetual conservation restriction is pretty typical.
it's new.
I would think. Well,
Newish.
it's new to us. It's
Right.
new to
That's what
Clee.
So that's what I'm curious.
Right.
Is it new to the process?
The answer is I don't think so, because we took the baseline report stuff was straight out of the state's
That's
template.
what I remember
Yeah,
too.
but that's a nice one to get a feet wet on because it's small enough.
Yeah.
There are a couple restrictions up there.
Yep.
That's a good one to do
All right.
because
so,
everything from there on is going to be a big. And you know, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, I mean, example of that is that solar field that you guys walked that you'd never seen. The one over by Jordan's.
Yep.
I mean, we had seen it before, and like I said, everything, but you got to see it
Yeah.
3 years later, and
Yeah.
you're going, if you're painting that picture, and we saw it 3 years ago like that, but you're going, hey, that all looks good. But so it gives you that idea. So get your feet wet on this, because guess what? If not, you're in some big developments when we do it, and you're going to have to walk those.
all right. So I will respond to George, well, to Clee and George, that baseline report should go back in and explain that we write it around the time of the CR adoption.
Yep. And it's a nice quick walkthrough.
All right. So I will actually do a more formal, complete difference between what we sent and what he did,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that nothing else is getting snuck in. And then, this will actually be important for next meeting to get done. Because street acceptance at town meeting is contingent on our approval of this conservation restriction. If we don't approve it in time for town meeting, streets don't get accepted and then all hell breaks loose. And I'm not trying to create a problem or a war or an issue, but I didn't know until now that we could
Do
have
we-
a quorum problem on the 19th.
Do we necessarily need to wait for state approval before? we
No,
approve?
no, we don't have to wait. It's our approval that everything is contingent upon next.
Okay, so it's just,
It's just
we're
us.
not waiting, nobody can hold us up.
Nobody's holding us up. The state will approve in their whatever time frame it takes. Since they've already seen it, hopefully it won't take 6 months. We don't know. But we need to get a new version from George, and whoever's here, whatever quorum we can construct on the 19th, we have to be ready to approve. And I'll do all the pre-reviews to make sure that nothing else has changed other than basically the property description is the big change. And that's stuff that frankly none of us have ever really looked at. We accept that the property description is right.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
All right, that's enough of that. Communication between boards. Okay, so
It's going to get better.
what's that?
It's going to get better.
It's I believe getting better already. So there was a meeting that was held that had the town administrator and me and chair of the planning board and the town planner.
Oh, that's, you're talking that one. Never mind.
Yes. Yep. And so we had a very good talk about the constraints that each of us have and some of the experiences others have had when dealing with people who are not intimately familiar with Conservation Commission stuff. Bottom line, let me just bottom line it. There is not a problem with Tamika asking for anything or sending anything.
She's a clerk, wait a minute.
If the agreement is that if Dave
I got
has
it,
questions, that he will ask me. It's that simple. But requests do not have to come from the chair to get information. That should already be happening. Which is what the way that town planner is used to behaving based on past experience. That only the chair would be able, there would only be chaired communication and to nobody else. That's not this way. That is gone.
That's not gonna happen anymore.
It's
Okay.
not gonna happen anymore.
So she can actually say what she knows.
Yeah, she can ask for things, she can send letters, she can,
If I ask for something, will it be sent to me or only to you?
It better be sent to you.
Yeah,
If it isn't, you best call it.
Yeah.
Say something to Peter.
Because I want to make sure, because
or
again,
us,
you,
because
you're a
this is
key
ridiculous.
ghost because everybody can, it's not, they're not always talking through you,
Yeah.
but you're saying, hey, this was missed or that was missed.
Mhm.
That's, you're more key to it and that's what we're trying to impress on these people.
Okay.
Now, you're our queen, so we can't, you know, we can't let them walk on you at all, seriously, in my opinion.
you.
I don't know about the rest of the board,
Yeah,
but they
Agreed.
ain't gonna walk on you at all.
agreed.
Not even kick a little dirt on you, they're not
No.
gonna do it.
Thank you.
Yes.
so, any problems, we'll take care of them, we'll knock
But-
them out.
But let people know. Let people know,
Absolutely.
because it doesn't work the other way.
I can do
Right.
that. No problem.
I'm gonna bypass number 7, we're just about 2 hours in,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a longer conversation, so we'll just push it to the next agenda. This, I will just highlight it quickly enough to say, we use Google Drive for ourselves. We need a better way to organize what's there so that anybody here can find whatever we have there. And then I want to extend that to other boards to say, not that we're gonna host other boards, but we can say, planning board has a question about what happened with the Conservation Commission on this property. We're gonna say, that's where you go to find out. So, first we need to organize it, understand what we're gonna do, then we need to make sure that we do it, and then we need to start pushing information out. And then there's a longer term question about how we deal electronically with all of our stuff, and I don't know what the answer, nobody knows what the answer to that is. And I'm not gonna try and solve that right now.
Okay.
So, that's Google Drive organization. Did we already talk about, oh no.
No.
So, Scott, why don't you ask for what you asked for before, so Tamika can hear you this time? I assume this is
No,
the,
Skip asked for that at the end of last week's.
oh,
meeting.
this is Glenwood Road. I'm sorry,
Glenwood.
I'm
Yeah,
completely
Glenwood Road.
broken. So, hold on, I'm inserting something, which was, they're about to begin work on the water.
The dam?
No, the water pipe.
They're gonna do the water line at 56.
The water
They're
line
gonna
on-
they're gonna resume construction of
On
it.
Pommogussett.
So can we send Joe a message to tell them to go back and re-inspect all the
Erosion control.
All the erosion controls and repairs necessary.
because there's a bunch of stuff missing after the winter
Oh, yeah.
season. But I mean, I saw them driving down the street today. I'm like, they're gonna start again, so they need to make it right before they start this time.
They're gonna start over here too. Maple Ave,
What's that about?
no.
That's all the curbs and stuff.
huh?
The curbs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the curbs and all, ripping the roofs, everything
Oh,
out.
I was thinking something different.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But that's just if you can send Joe something on that.
I can, sure.
Because last
Okay.
time they did it backwards.
Yeah.
Got it.
So what's this about? Property on Glenwood?
Skip.
The potential of, did you happen to drive by and see all the dirt they moved to get up in the back that they had blocked? That driveway, that road going up there?
Where are we talking?
Glenwood Road,
The far end?
huh?
Like the far?
No, this end, just across from, what's his name, Zinke?
Oh,
Zinkowitz.
Where you
Oh.
looked at the tree clearing. It was back in the fall. There was a
Oh.
lot of tree clearing. And
So where Elbag's building?
No,
no, this is Bobo's property.
Oh, Bobo's property.
Oh,
Well, so he must be cutting the back lots. The big back extension lot. because he sold the house. I think they sold his house, and they had to put a well
Yes.
in. So he must be building a back house. Oh,
I don't know.
there's.
I mean, at one time we, unless I misconsumed, but I thought we asked him not to do any work up there because of the wetland.
Well, yeah, there is a wetland finger up that sat behind all those. Remember the ones that had all the water problems
Yep,
coming
yep,
down,
that's-
and we did see a wetland thing behind it.
Yeah.
So this is Ralph stuff. Let's call him by his right name, Ralph.
Ralph. Oh, Ralph.
Right around here somewhere.
Boom. Magic.
Oops, outside.
Thinking.
It's
So
before,
is he-
it's
so
before
is-
the rail trail.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
he's in
next to the
between.
railroad.
He's in between those houses he built.
Yeah,
Oh, that's it.
They're done.
Hey, Skip, you're
There's
not gonna
one-
be able to go home?
It's 9.
Peter hit the delete key, Glenwood.
That's
Road's
right.
gone.
Glenwood Road's gone. I'm sorry, man.
No more Chapter 90 money.
No, don't get crazy.
Oh, we'll still get paid for it, but
Okay, so yes, this is the property. Yes. No, I have not been paying attention to that. I'll admit it, Skip.
yeah, because that had two accesses they left in
Yeah.
to cut the back, and those other people were just here last fall with all the water issues, and there was a wetland piece back there. Remember,
Yep.
it was the back of the property, so
Yep.
we kind of went, "Well, you're out of it." And he's between the other houses he just built, right? So he's closer to the rail trail end.
I don't know.
No, it's the first one down. He's got his house, and two houses, and then the road goes up.
Yeah.
That one, that's where they
Yeah, so
moved a
he's
bunch
right.
of dirt.
Yeah, so he's right there.
I mean,
Come on, still on my computer.
What you got on your mini screen?
That's it. These were the two houses.
Those are two.
Was.
And he's up in. So there's really not much. You get that
Right.
one piece, but if he's depending where he's at.
Whatever this is,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it's something. It's on a wetland layer, and then the bigger wetlands back in the very
Yeah.
back of the property.
Because that's his house that he just sold. That's the red garage.
Yeah. But he's over here with it.
He's playing back here.
Yeah.
Of course, it won't zoom in anymore.
Okay.
Is it right around here? Where the heck is that?
No, it's further up. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it right
Right there.
Right where your cursor
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one right there. Yep, I would say it looks like there's something going on there we need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, 'cause he left 3 driveways in.
Yep.
That was access to estate lots.
Right. So.
So did he never file an A&R?
They didn't even do it on the other ones, remember? Because it was that great, that whole thing, and we couldn't figure out what happened or didn't happen. I mean, we dealt with this on Rail Trail originally.
Well, no, on the
Yeah.
other ones, those would have been A&R anyway.
Those
Right,
would have A&R.
Right.
But it looks like this one had the big property hasn't been, even though he's got 3 driveways.
Yeah, that wouldn't be A&R though. That's an estate lot. The planning board would have to approve that, wouldn't he?
If it's
Well-
if it's an estate lot and it's over 5 acres with the thing, it's an automatic. I think it's an automatic approval. It's not like it's a common drive.
I don't know. No, because there's a state lot is a special permit.
Oh.
Yeah.
An A&R is not a special permit. So this is why.
But he's playing back there, period, and we know there's water there.
Yeah.
So GIS shows what looks like a stream running through the property.
Yeah.
It lists it as an intermittent stream. Whatever that means, I don't know. You'd have to.
You're
Yeah.
talking about right here,
Yeah.
right along here?
Keep going right there.
That blue
That
line
blue
right
This
there.
blue line right
Yeah.
here.
That's
Okay.
coming up as an intermittent stream on GIS.
Okay.
So we do ask them to come in.
Yeah. I think we should.
Do we?
Yeah, probably send him a letter.
Yeah. Quick letter say we'd like to review your work on whatever the hell this parcel ID is.
The potential wetlands issues.
Yeah.
But try not to have him come in the 19th. I mean, the problem is they're gonna push past the 19th on that one. You know, now you're into May and he's still playing.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be worded one of those. According to their GIS mapping, there are wetlands on the property, and we need to know what you're doing. Maybe you should cease and desist until we actually talk to you.
Yeah. Do we want to do a cease and desist? I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. It's just.
I don't know if you want to do it, but you might want to go. You might not want to get. You know, just put it in there. You might want to not want to get go too far because it does show.
Yeah.
And figure we looked at those other ones that were up there, and you're going, okay, it was the back of their property. If he's anywhere near the back of their property, you're really in that. Meaning, best case scenario is he's going to call Mark, and Mark's going to call us and go, okay, because I mean he was super conservative on the other ones,
Right.
so it's one of those, and he can go, okay, hey, it is what it is, but he'll call Mark and go, whoa, what am I doing? So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I would say that's just that's lettered to Ralph.
What specifically do you want it to say? Do you want me to invite them to the first meeting in May? Do you want me to kindly request that they stop until?
Why don't we let them decide what they want to do first?
I would do a letter in the mail.
Okay,
Do a letter in the mail.
yeah.
I guess stating that we noticed there's work going on, and according to GIS mapping, there are wetlands in the area.
Good. And leave it at that.
There's wetlands in the area, and we'd like you to come see us,
Talk about it.
and we'd like to have you come
Have
in,
a discussion.
have
about
come in and
it.
discuss it, or you know.
Well, what's
know-
going to happen is he's going to call Mark, and Mark is going
Right, but again, we're not trying to put the problem is we get the 19th, but just one of those. We'd like to know what you're doing.
What, do you want me to do it for the first meeting in May? Or ask them to come to?
I would put it for first week in May because
First week.
you can't load any more up to the 19th.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a late meeting, and it's going to run long.
And like we say, most likely he's going to call Mark anyways. Mark will reach right out and go,
yeah, what do you want?
what do you want?
Yeah.
What are we doing? So I think that's fair to everybody.
Yeah. All right. Good.
One of those we see you.
I think the last name is mine, number 10.
Signatures for
Yeah.
past permits.
So I got an email from Karen with Clee's office stating that George was refused at the registry for 2 permits because they were not a wet signature. And I actually spoke to the registry, and they confirmed they are accepting electronic signatures. There had to have been a different reason why they were rejected. They were still pushing that I get a wet signature, so I brought it tonight. I'd have to get Melissa's another time, but I did let them know that going forward, we are still going to use electronic signatures, and the registry has said nothing has changed. They do accept it. So I brought this in the event that the board is
How
willing to
old are these
sign it.
signatures?
This one is just the one we extended for Glenwood Place on March 15th.
Yeah.
Great.
And the other one we did back in September, this fall.
Okay, so we were all on the commission, so we can all just sign it. We don't have to wait for Melissa.
Right. And she voted on it, but she doesn't have to.
She
We had enough people.
Okay, so even though her name is on here, that's okay, we don't need her signature?
Correct.
Right.
Okay. then
Yeah,
that
we'll
works.
still have a quorum sign it. We'll all sign it in ink and be done.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
That works. That's all I needed on that one.
165 Cannon Road. So, yes, I did try to reach out, but it turns out the guy I know who thought he knew, the guy I know, knows the guy who used to live at the abutting property. Does not now. So, maybe we should just reach out to the current owners of that abutting property. It's a little tough.
I wouldn't.
I think they rented.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd have a tough time with that because now you're going to create a Hatfield McCoy thing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
True. Fair enough. Fair enough. So then what do we do with 165 Cannon?
We'd go right back to where we started.
Well, Paul McManus is taking care of that.
That's true. We should have asked him while he was here.
But
So the last time he was here, too.
go right back, but he can't really say anything
Well,
because
probably.
he works for them.
Probably not.
I'd hate to put him on the spot too.
Well, you're not putting them on the spot if you just say, hey, Paul, come on. We just wanna go out and look. Can you talk to your client? But, I mean, that's not putting them on the spot.
Oh, I thought you were trying to pump information.
Oh, no,
okay.
no.
I think you have to go right back to what you were doing before and get a warrant to go walk property.
Except that we no longer have a reasonable suspicion that there's a problem because we have a wetlands guy who says there isn't a problem.
We ever get the report? No.
We got something.
Yeah, we
Not the
got,
report, but you guys had said that you weren't certain he took it from the right spot.
Hey, we never got a report. We have hearsay. We never got what they said we were supposed to get.
We did get the report.
We got the report.
Oh.
But when you guys reviewed it, there was a question of whether he took the samples in the proper location.
Right.
Or if he did it just where they instructed him to.
if Paul's gonna sign off on it,
He didn't sign off on it.
no, but that, I said, if Paul is going to sign off on it,
If he's going to sign off on it, you have to take his word for it because
Yeah.
he's an engineer. But he didn't sign off on it. What we got is not what we asked for. If I remember
It
correctly.
didn't have the specificity we wanted. It didn't have the
Right.
precise locations
Right.
of the whatever of the borings or whatever he did.
Right.
yeah, so
There's
just
no
go back and
plan.
ask him.
I think it was just a written letter. I don't think there was a plan that came.
It was a written letter, no plan, no nothing. It wasn't what we asked for. So I suppose if you really want to go back to the owners of the property and go, this is what we need from Paul, signed off by Paul, with the plan and all the other stuff, and if not, we're going back the other way. And that's because we didn't get what we really asked for.
So let's send the letter.
Send the letter.
Done.
You want to send a letter?
Scott, can you repeat once more what you want in the letter to request from them?
Well, you should write the letter and you can bring it up to him.
Yeah, she's got spell check on her computer.
Because I don't spell, I write.
Just tell me what you want. I can make it simple.
Yeah, I know. How are we going to word that one? It's going to the homeowner.
We do have the original letter, right, that we sent?
Yeah.
Asking.
I think it's one of those.
It's gonna be a
The
repeat.
information that you provided us did not include mapping or I'll say other information. That doesn't work right.
All right. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Bless you.
We have what was sent.
Yeah, it's on the Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
So you can review that and see what's missing.
Okay, I'll send you something.
Because that way, we'll get it right. We'll get it right once. We'll be.
I'll send it and I'll put it to everybody.
Okay.
Everybody do their input.
In that letter, do we also want to request a site visit to see if they are
Well,
willing to
well,
extend that at
A
this
site,
point?
either a site visit.
We
Oh,
have
oh,
to.
no.
We have to ask for a site visit.
We have to ask
if we
for-
don't ask for a site visit, we have no business asking for an administrative warrant to get on the
Right.
property.
We have to ask for a site visit, or give them the option, or they can have Paul come in and talk to us and explain it. Because I'll trust I'll trust the engineers because they're an engineer. So there's your options. You don't want to let us on the property, then the engineer that did this for you, have him come talk to us and show us in pretty pictures of what he did. So you're giving him the option.
I like that.
That gives you a bonus. You're not putting him in a corner.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And I mean, we've always done well with Paul anyways.
We'll trust the professional.
We'll trust the professional, and you know what? He'd come in with pictures and he'd tell you, and then you go, well, that's not really what we wanted. Or it is what we wanted. Okay, I will dig through that, and I will get you something in a day or two.
Okey-doke.
And I'll put it to everybody first. And
Yes.
okay.
Before you go to Jamaica.
She didn't do good that time,
It's
eh?
fine.
Is there any other business before the commission this evening? 3, 2.
Motion adjourned?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everybody. We're all done. Have a great night.